What's up, y'all? This is Tyron here at The Journey. Made a video a couple weeks ago. It's been a while, I know. That was the intro. That was me and my man Arthur. And what a great conversation that we had about myself and even himself about entering in this journey. Now, I know I used the term jump on the podcast, and I use the phrase jump, but jump doesn't mean something like killing yourself or jumping off or suicide, nothing like that. Jumping means simply picture yourself on a plane, right? And you're doing a skydive, right? You're jumping into the skydive. Or picture yourself maybe jumping into a pool, right, for a swim. Now, I can't swim, but I need to definitely learn how to soon. But jumping represents another word for jumping is launching. I like to use the word launch, right? Launching into your dreams. You think about something that launches. It's positioned for a period of time, and then it launches off. And so now this is going to be chapter one, which is the call. And I'll just kind of explain what that is. The call represents, something that's calling you, literally. You think about, different calls that we know of in life. You have, a referee that calls a game. You have sales calls, right? You have a call like a hunter who has these different calls that he whistles and calls out to certain animals, and the animals hear that distinct call, right? And that kind of attracts them away from whatever they're particularly doing at that moment, right? And so when you talk about when I talk about the call, as we talk about the call is your dreams, your passion, and desires that are literally calling you, and you feel this call to that, and it's calling you away from what you are currently doing. Maybe that is a 9 to 5. Maybe that is school. Maybe that is whatever it is you're doing, right? But it's calling you away from that. And for me personally, this calling has really been calling me for some time, and it's gradually trained me and grabbed me and pulled me along the way. And now I feel this more now to entertain this call. This call has gotten louder and louder. And as y'all know from the intro, I have stepped. When I say step, I stepped away from the what I was doing. I was a trainer. Before that, I was an educator. I stepped away from educating and then went into training. When I say training, basketball training. Basketball's been a part of my life since I was about 8. So here's where I am. A lot has happened since I, even from the day that I put my 3 weeks notice in, probably about a month ago. About a month ago. From that day that I put my 3 weeks notice in, so many things have happened. I call them divine connections, but some crazy encounters have happened with some amazing people. One of the things I was looking to do is to step out and write more. I'm a writer. I'm also, doing the journey. I love speaking into people's lives, encouraging people to live out the best version of themselves. And so another thing was fitness. Giving more attention to the fitness arena. That's why I have my Y hoodie on today. And so it's really cool. This hoodie is for the Mexico City earthquake relief, and I really like it a lot because it has the whole world, and I really like that. That just shows you how endless the possibilities are for you to really go and be the full you. You have this whole world before you, and places for you to be, and people for you to see, and people that are waiting to be encouraged by your gifts and be inspired by your gifts. Okay, and so now I'm at this place, and now I'm just started training at the Y. And so any of y'all, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 a.m. at the Hutchinson Y. Okay, And so that's where I'm at on Saturdays at 10, just in case y'all want to get a good workout in. It's only 1 hour, okay? But this thing of the call, one thing I like to talk about, I've been thinking a lot about, I read the Bible a lot, and one of the stories that sticks out to me right now is in Genesis, and it's in chapter 3. Y'all know about the whole, for those of y'all who know, in the beginning, right, was God, obviously. And so he created, man. When I say man, he created the human, and Adam and Eve. And so, anyways, most of y'all who might know this, if you don't, here's the backstory. They're in the Garden of Eden. God's given them everything that they need in terms of the garden and everything they need there, right? He gives them one command. You go anywhere you want to go, eat anything you want to eat, everything is provided. You are in control. You are the one who orchestrates this thing. Just stay away from this particular tree in the garden, right? And so, anyways, they go along, they end up, going to that tree they shouldn't have went to. But one of the main things was this, okay? God went to them knowing that they had did something that was wrong, right? Or went against what he said. And he first asked them, he said, Adam, where are you? And so that's a good question to ask yourself. Where am I? Where are you? You see, God's calling him, right? And then, he asked him, Adam says we hid ourselves from you because we were naked, right? And so then God responds with, who told you you were naked? And I want to just kind of give you that phrase to think about. Now, I'm not trying to turn this into a Bible lesson, okay? But once again, we're focusing on the journey, and the journey is not just natural, right? But it's also spiritual. Your whole makeup is natural. You have a soul and you have a spirit. And so we're spiritual beings that live in this body. And so this journey is spiritual. You have to have your morals intact, your thinking, your focus, all of that, right? And so he said, where are you? Then he responded with another question, who told you that you were naked? In other words, who told you that you weren't clothed? Who told you that you were in need, right? And it's that voice that we hear a lot of times, at least myself, I'll be honest with you. I've heard that voice like, man, go back to work, go back to this place where how you going to get enough money to pay for this and that? And, things have worked out. And that fear does come. But there's also faith. So you're either in fear or you're in faith. You're either believing or you're not believing. You either have confidence or you don't have confidence. And so that's where I'm at now as I'm progressing through this path. Continue to seek different opportunities that made its way to me. I do believe energy is real in the universe, and that's where I'm at, and I'm going fully after the full and true me of who I am. And I encourage you that if you feel this same way, go ahead and go after it, because there's no more important thing to do in life than to be your full self. You don't want to be part of yourself, There's this post I posted on Facebook just today, actually. And it says something to the fact of, throughout your life's journey, there comes a place, you come to a place where you ask the question, who am I? What can I do? And that moves you to begin to ask even God, the creator, right? Who am I? Who have you made me to be? And it's at that moment I call the sweet spot, right? That's the sweet spot of this whole journey. And that's when the journey begins. Then God starts to begin to remove you from the thing that you thought you were, or at least that's a part of you. See, for me, it's basketball, right? But that's only a part of me. Like I said in the podcast, it's only a part of who I am. And there's more to me. And so I encourage you, man, lay down that fraction of who you are that you're doing right now and go after the full measure of who you are, the rest of who you are. And so it's your boy here, Tyron, here at The Journey, Okay. Next time we're going to have my wife here. Her name is Ashley Hall. We've been married about 3.5 years now. Um, we've both been in education teaching. We'll have her here and her talking about the call on her life and how she's felt called to, uh, to teaching, even at an early age to teaching. Man, it's crazy at an early age, and she just ran after that thing. So we're gonna talk about her. I'm gonna talk to her about that. We're gonna be, kind of just talking naturally like I am right now, and I'm probably gonna ask her some questions. You know what I mean, and kind of pick her brain so y'all can kind of get a understanding of what the journey is. And so I encourage y'all to look at us on the Journey page, the Facebook page. You should subscribe and share the video with whoever. There's a Facebook page as well with the Journey on it. It's called The Journey. Send a request, and I'll make you a part of that page. It is a private page, and I look forward to seeing y'all soon. And hey, it's Tyron here saying, take the journey to the full and true version of yourself.